Alright, in this video we're gonna take a look at the viewport settings. And the viewport, it's the most important space where you will hang out in Unreal. So it's worth taking a look first. We know how to navigate by just clicking the right mouse click and with WSDA. And while we're on it, let's take a look at all these things. The first thing is you can check this one and you can have some different kind of views. For example, you can show the frame per second. You can see I'm like 40 frames something. You can show stats, which will basically add a lot of information here. So let's just remove this for now. You can show the toolbar, or you can hide it to show this toolbar where you can change the viewport. You can change the field of view. Okay, let's take it back to 90. And what you can do also is, if you hold right and click the C button, you can zoom in, and if you click Z, you can zoom out. So basically you can change the depth of field of view just by changing these buttons, and you don't need to commit to any change. So just keep that in mind. The other thing is the immersive mode. You can still press F11, okay, and you will have your immersive mode where you can see your scene bigger. Notice that if your scene is bigger, this will also make sure that it's more heavy in performance. You can also have some bookmarks. For example, you can set a bookmark here. You can see that I have my Control 0 or Control 1. For example, I decided I have my bookmark here, so I will have Control 1 here. Okay, and when I go to another one and I press the button 1, I will go directly here. This is very useful when you have a very big world and you want to go to different places without traveling long distances. So this is very useful. You can see I have my bookmarks here already selected. I can clear all of this, clear all bookmarks, I'll clear 2 of them individually. So if I click this and then I check one, I won't be able to move again. So next is the layout. You can have different layouts, like 2 planes. You can have different viewports, or you can have like this if you really want to. And this can be useful when you want to be very picky with the things you want to put in the world. Like for example, you're putting some architectural pieces and you want to snap to the grid or something. This kind of view can be useful. So let's put just this like 4 planes, which is the default. And you can check here, you can maximize this one. So you can see I can go here, maximize or minimize, and I can go to my top view here and right click and move the camera, or I can go to my side view. And notice that these views are not only made for wireframe. If I click here, I can also put the lit mode. You can check, I can see my scene lit or unlit or any other kind of visualization you may want to watch. So you can have this one like unlit mode, something like this, or wireframe, and this one in detail laning, and this one is fully lit. Notice that the more viewports you have, the heavier it will be for you to compute these changes. So let's take a look at this. You can actually use the top part and then go to other views. Of course, the most common one is the perspective one. Next, you will have the lit modes. You and we took a look at those. This is basically the lit mode is the final mode. You can have the unlit, you can have the wireframe, the lining, and the lining only. Okay, so you can also preview the reflections, and then the collision, which we don't have now. So this is the visibility collision, which serves as the cooling. What says is basically this is the collision for rendering. Anything behind this won't be rendered, so this serves as a collision for visibility. Then you have the optimization modes. You can check how complex it's your lining. For example, if I put another light here, let's create another light, you will see that my complexity increases because I'm stacking lights on top of another, and it even goes crazier when I duplicate another one. You know, the more red, the it's just heavier in performance, so just keep that in mind. Okay, and then you have the shader complexity, which is how complex are your shaders. We'll take a look at the materials later. Then you have level of detail coloration, mesh LOD, and all these things. And then you have the overview, which is one of the most useful viewports to check all of those different buffers in one shot. Then you have the nanite, which I haven't activate, so you cannot see it actually here. You can see the triangles and the mask and other nanite visualizations. Okay, so that goes into nanite. Okay, so last but not least, you can hide certain elements of your scene. For example, if I decide I want to hide the static meshes, all the static meshes will be gone. This is useful if you want to only preview some stuff, but just keep that in mind. If you don't see something, then maybe it's because of you're not visualizing it in this viewport. And also, of course, you can disable some stuff like the post-processing and other things. But for us, this is pretty much it. Okay, one last thing, let's just check the snapping options. So if I move this one, it will snap into 10 units. If I put like 500, you will see that my snapping changes, and now I will snap into 500 units. Same for this one, for the snapping for the rotate, and I can put like 45, and I can rotate this. And same with scale, I can scale like this, or I can increase this one to 10, which will only increase in 10 times size increments. Now, if I don't want to move these things and I just want to, be free, click this here, so you can just move this around and rotate without any constraint. This is very useful for when you're making natural environments. So if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, let us know in the comments which kind of video you would like to watch, and if you're making a game, make sure you check the links in the description to get some help, and I'll see you in the next one.